This is Alex Del Sordo with the Rower's Choice podcast, and this is a special one for me. I don't know about other rowers in the world, but this is a special one for me. I got Zach Eberson from South Jersey. We've known each other going on 17 years, I think. 16, 17 years. We were young. But anyway, Zach and I were lifeguard partners together for years. We continue to stay in touch for a while. And today you're going to learn a little bit about how rowing has impacted his life, which you, in most cases, could probably compare. You could probably compare it to your life, right?
Yeah.
Other rowers. But we're also going to have a hot topic. In my mind, it's a hot topic. South Jersey rowing.
Yeah, it's taken over the globe here.
It's what everyone talks about, and it's a big deal. But let's start with some, as I call, softball questions.
Sure.
Let's just get to
Let's
know
ease
you.
into it.
Yeah. So where did you start rowing?
I started rowing. I did chicken dippers, which, you know...
I don't think people know what that is.
So chicken dippers is like being in the army in Israel. You have to go through it. It's a birthright. This is like middle school. You stand on a dock. It's like your first time ever in a boat. All right. So that was in Ventnor, and I lived like a block away. So we did chicken dippers. But I would say competitively, went to Holy Spirit High School. Rowed 4 years there, went to University of Rhode Island, rowed 4 years there, and then I row out of the same boathouse in Ventnor at a Viking.
But what a big jump, right? Going from South Jersey, warm weather, somewhat warm weather rowing to Rhode Island. I mean,
Right.
What was the thought going through your head? And I'm not putting you on the spot, but like,
No.
you know, not a lot of people in our area went there.
Right.
I mean, I think you're one of the only ones.
I mean, I don't want to say I was like the first one because that's not true, but there was, like, after I went, there was a huge movement from our area to Rhode Island. A bunch of kids went to Rhode Island after me, so I was like the guinea pig.
You were the guinea pig.
Yeah. And if we're talking climate, the campus itself is like 10 minutes from the ocean.
Yeah, right.
So think of like a South Jersey climate exactly minus 8 degrees.
Oh, not much different at all.
Not much different at all.
Same kind of water.
Same,
right?
The ocean was right there. My house in Rhode Island was closer to the beach than my house in South Jersey.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now, what did you do? Now, I get fuzzy with your time in college. So, did you coach? Did you coach at all after that?
I did. So right after college, I coached at the University of Connecticut. So, and that was a difference in weather. Colder and dump snow. Like, so much snow that I was renting a room from a woman, and I said, "Man, this is a lot of snow." And she said, "Yeah, it is." So that's when I knew. Like, she lived there her whole life. She's like, "This is a lot of snow." I was like, "Uh-oh."
Wow. Okay.
I'm talking, like, I had to, for a workout, I would, like, shovel the driveway taller than me, the banks.
So right after college, you just went right into coaching?
Right into coaching.
That was a decision you made as in a career move?
You know, some kids, they backpack through Europe. You know, let me take a year off. No. I couldn't even afford a backpack, let alone backpack through Europe. So some people do that. That was my backpacking through Europe. That was my finding myself.
How long? How long did you do it?
That was about 2 years, and then after that, I came back home. That ran its course. I came back to South Jersey and coached at Mainland, your alma mater.
This is 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
Right?
Coached there, and then, and you're right, it does get blurry. Got a real job.
I mean, a lot happened in that period.
You met
a woman. You have children. I mean, so much has happened.
You know what? The beach patrol, for better or for worse, you know, I met the love of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I met my wife, Brittany, too. So, she won't see this, though.
I don't think she will see this.
She doesn't even know what I'm doing here. I said, "Do you know what I'm doing tomorrow?" She's like, "You're going to DC." All right.
That's it. That's enough.
Yeah.
She doesn't realize the power and the strength of this podcast.
Love you, Brett.
Simulcasts.
No.
Like, she doesn't get it. I understand. So, wow. So 2012, 2013, you're just, the one constant in your life has been the rowing, right?
Yes.
Which I think is a repeat to a lot of people in the sport.
Yeah.
So all the way back to chicken dippers, which is 1999. Something crazy.
So high
right?
school was 2004. So yeah, it's like 2002.
Yeah. Like that's wild, right? So you're going on 18 years of being in the sport.
Right.
And now today, you still train, you still row, you still compete.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now? Like where are you at?
So I do have a good career. I have a family, 3 kids, house, American dream. But the passion is always there. And, right after college, I did 4 years of like a competitive rowing high school program, 4 years of a competitive collegiate program. I was burnt out. The last thing I wanted to do was see an erg.
Sure, that's it. Anybody.
I was like, I'm done. So believe it or not, I don't even know if you know this. A huge hockey fan.
Oh, I know that.
I played hockey.
No.
I swear to God. That's right. I got the skates.
Like the pads and everything.
Got the whole king caboodle. Ice hockey. Where
do you even play that in South Jersey?
Atlantic City Skate Zone.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like the goon. I was like, if any hockey fans, like Scott Hartnell, like garbage goals, like would go off my ear and go in. But no, I played hockey. Like then I was like, all right, triathlons. I did those for a little bit. I don't have the build
for triathlon
to be good. I'm like,
do they call us Clydesdales?
Yeah, I'm like 190. They're like, you can either be a Clydesdale at 225, or you can be just not good. I'm like, well, okay.
Well, I'm gonna go not good route.
Yeah.
I guess.
But no, and then I found my way back into the sport. Because it is a passion. It means so much to me, and now I consider myself an ambassador for the sport.
That's a big. I just got chills. That's a big phrase because. You're an ambassador. You're showing people around you what rowing can do for you. You're showing your kids what rowing can do for you. I mean, your wife is an elite level athlete. She's a runner. Right? So you guys got a really cool thing going. What? Now that you are in it, out of it, in it again, how has rowing changed and affected your life day to day?
I think with the training, and I tell my kids, when I mean kids, I mean the rowers that I coach. Mm-hmm. I say the sport isn't fun.
No, it's not. It's terrible.
I go. I've played hockey. I've played basketball. All the fun sports. The sport isn't fun. It's rewarding.
Rewarding. That's so. All my interviews, no one said that. That's pretty good.
The winter training, the windy. It's a little blustery today. Not too bad, but
there were a dozen boats out there today.
The rain, the cold, the dark months of training. But then you get those days where the sun's setting where the sun's rising and the water is literally gold and you are flying on the water. And maybe you win a race and it's the elation, not because like you won, it's because, my God, all of the training culminated to this and we did it. And so you've learned how that boils down to is you've learned sacrificing and rewards, right? You've learned when you have so
to put
many
yourself
lessons. We could talk forever about something unique about the sport. There's on the water, there's off the water.
Yeah.
It's like 2 different sports. So your goal is so far in the future.
That's I don't think people in general understand that concept.
So it teaches you patience, it teaches you long-term goal, where the work that I do today is going to matter literally that inch in the springtime. So in my profession, what I'm doing now, it's like the work I'm doing today is going to impact 1, 2, 3, 7 years down the road. And because of the sport, that's just one of the reasons. Also, and for any generation, what's below us? We're millennials. What's called X, Y,
I don't even know.
Z, whatever.
I don't even know.
It's teaching these kids these participation trophies.
Yeah.
Just because you work hard doesn't mean you're gonna get it.
Well, all right. I do want people to know what you do for a living because I got to tell you what you did with me 3 years ago. In your Cruising with Zach, episode 9 or whatever.
That was the jump off.
That was the jump off. That taught me a huge lesson. So you are a insurance agent, right?
Correct. Yes.
And that is your profession. But I mean, tell the people, the listeners, like what is it that you do day to day?
Specifically, I do commercial insurance. I know, super cool.
You make it cool.
But that's the thing is. everyone has like this profession pigeonholed.
Yeah.
So when I talk different or cruising with Zach, or if I make insurance fun, people are like,
what?
how the hell did he do this? You know? But it's just...
How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this 7 years.
It's a long time.
Talk about time flies.
7 years.
7 years. Yeah, it's been
And
going
you
really
enjoy
well.
it?
I do enjoy it. The company I work for is a great company. And talk about those long-term goals. 7 years, 5 years, or 7 years later, my plants are starting to grow. All those seeds that I planted.
What a lesson, right? What a lesson for rowers.
And this, and I tell my kids, again, the kids that I coach, by the time we're on the water, especially in the beginning of the season, we're going to lose some of our cardio, some
Sure.
of our, not physique, but our fitness. We're going to lose fitness. The work that we do now, the worst thing you want to do is get on the starting line and be like, I should have trained harder.
Well, that's but that goes in life too, right? Like
Yeah.
you're not prepared and everything. I remember my coach at Marietta, John Van Carey, hay in the barn. That was a big thing for him. You
Yeah.
put the hay in the barn and you light that thing on fire at the end of the year,
Yeah.
right? And it's all about that, taking that time to prepare yourself, and that's a big lesson. So I want to. Those are the easy questions. All right.
Okay.
Now, you know what I've done in my career. You know the
Yeah.
boats that are in my career, Resolute specifically, Sykes. What's your favorite boat to row, and why? Now, I'm not talking singles, doubles, quads. I'm saying
Okay.
manufacturer. Like, what has
Manufacturer.
been the favorite boat you've ever rowed in?
All right. A member let me take out a Viking Rowing Club. He let me take out his Empacher single.
How smooth was that?
And I have my dad has, but it's mine.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Chuck. So my dad has a Hudson single.
Beautiful.
It's good. It's real stiff.
Yep.
Little bathtubby.
I can understand
bathtubby. But when I got that Empacher single, and something about that Empacher yellow.
Didn't it just feel like it was like a glove? Like you just put it on, you're like, oh wow, that's how that's
I
supposed
was
to fit.
like, and you kind of like look at it like in the boathouse, and then I took it out, and it was just like knife through butter,
It's a great boat. I mean,
It's a
there's
great
no
boat.
question about
And
it.
I will say this, no solicitation here at all, but in Rhode Island we
You
rode
had them.
Resolutes.
You did.
We rode Resolutes, and I was fortunate enough my senior year we got a Resolute 8 and a Resolute 4, brand new, and so. That's always like, I always have a soft spot in my heart for Resolutes because that's what we rode, and the senior year it was like a brand new spaceship. And
Yeah,
it
right.
was great. So now I have a question for you.
Give it to me.
We can talk forever about, I know you're a passionate guy. What's new with Resolute? Not only with the shell, but with the company, because I know you're doing a lot.
What a great. No one's asked me that.
I flipped the script.
I wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah.
No, I know. Resolute was built to put a boat in space. This thing is actually indestructible in a way,
Mhm.
right? Over-engineered, which is great. Fantastic boat. The company struggled for about 10 years, not knowing its identity. So it struggled with decision making. It struggled with boat building. They had some really great years. They had some poor years. The one constant, though, in all of boat manufacturing is change, which is weird as that sounds. Every boat manufacturer in the world has made changes in speed. Resolute built the fastest boat and the strongest boat in 1994 and never made any changes. So when we came in, we thought, well, what are some of the areas that can have an immediate change right away? And one was structured sales team. So now there's a service team and a sales team out in the population supporting and helping programs with those boats. You have there's our friend Ed, actually a partner in the business.
Hey, Ed.
We'll talk to him in a bit, but
I'll catch up with you later.
absolutely.
Have a great podcast.
Thanks. So he's one of the founding members of Rowers Choice.
Okay.
He's a shareholder of the company. So we did the service side of things, and then we then narrowed down on what could we change in the boat to make it a better boat for the athletes.
Mhm.
Okay, Resolute is a hard boat to race in. It rows hard at a 20. It rows fast at a 36. If you miss a stroke, you can feel it.
Yeah.
So then because of my experience and all the things that I've done in rowing, I understand the boat very, very well. We sat down with some Australian engineers, my partners over in Australia, and we fixed the entire interior of the boat. So we got rid of the heavy core above the waterline. So instead of 30 mil, it's 12 mil. We did a flat panel deck. So instead of the angled Resolute deck, it's a flat panel deck. We increased the length of the entire interior to spread the weight out further so that you don't have the porpoising.
Yeah.
We have the seat pan, which is really important, was too high off the waterline. We've lowered it down to give you stability. So some people that have rowed it said, man, this feels like an M-Pucker. It feels like it's comfortable to row in now. And then with that, after say 4 minutes of killing yourself in a boat, the last thing you want to focus on is setting a boat, right? So we then made those changes, but really we've gotten the brand and the image back out there again. We made the Resolute relevant again. We're getting people bought into not just the boat, but the team that you're part of now. You're part of a team now, right? We're servicing you, we're helping you, we're making you fast again. And those are the, at least, big changes that have happened in the last 9 months.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because I remember from when we rode our Resolute, that's going to 2010.
Yeah.
There were races with effortless speed. And then there was races where like, what is happening?
The moment 2 oars in that boat are off time, it falls apart.
Yeah.
Those come off. And that was the case up until recently. I mean, we made sure that the boat was comfortable to row. And then the next phase, what happens next is we take all this information, we take all this data, we sit down with coaches from all over the country, and we would do what we call as a white label. So we're starting from ground zero next year. We're going to be redesigning a boat all the way to the mold.
Wow.
And that's going to be something that's I don't know, revolutionary is the wrong word, but for revolutionary for the company of Resolute.
Yeah, it's going to be like a catalyst in the company.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
That's exciting. That's so exciting.
It is exciting, and it leads me to a question for you. And listeners on the podcast, we are outside, so you're going to hear a jet fly.
We just saw Marine One go by.
It's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Huge deal. And there's a lot of background noise, I understand. But how do you think rowing, specifically the sport and the industry, has adopted to today's world? So you started in the early 2000s. Both you and I started around the same era. How has it changed in the last 20 years?
Well, obviously, the equipment's changed. It's always evolving. Lighter, stronger, faster. But just like anything, social media, Instagram especially, I'm very impressed with how the rowing community has embraced Instagram, and it's made the world so much smaller. So I tell my kids,
that's a good observation.
I've told my kids, my team, listen, go on to Instagram and just go through University of Washington's Instagram page, RP3, Rowing Bible, whoever, and there's just endless amounts of ADD 15-second videos. But if the kid's struggling getting his shoulders in front of his hips on the drive or a suspension, I can talk all day. I can show him videos of him. Look, you need to do this. But if you're watching someone else do it, oh yeah, that looks so easy.
That was someone told me a while ago. It's like, how do you get good at basketball? Well, you watch Michael Jordan. Just watch him. Just watch him play.
Just watch him.
Watch, and God rest his soul. Like the
Kobe.
Black Mamba, right? We have a joke internally that we wanted to call the boat the Black Mamba, and they're like, "That's too soon.
Too soon.
We're not going to do that." But Kobe Bryant, watch them perform. So it's a good point that rowing has adopted that, and now athletes can watch great rowing at their fingertips.
Yeah.
Whereas before, when we were doing it, we didn't know that. We didn't even know our competition. Now you know your competition.
We would put in the VHS of 1984 Olympiad and just watch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the wrong boats.
Yeah, whatever, and it's in French or whatever. But especially if you're on a time crunch like me with 3 kids, you have 2 kids, trying to get the training in. I don't have the time to train, but if I just, sit at home at night, kids are down, whatever, and just watch rowing videos, especially for me, I'm transitioning to the single. This will be my 4th year in the single.
And that's a big transition in itself. But
oh my God, my year 1, here are my goals. Year 1, don't flip.
Don't flip.
year 1, don't flip. Year 2, finish a race and don't flip. Year 3, kind of be respectable, row on the Schuylkill.
That's a big deal.
Row
That's a big
on the
deal.
Schuylkill.
Yep.
Row on the Schuylkill, don't flip. Don't flip is always on there.
Yeah, no,
somewhere.
that's going to go for like 10 years.
Forever it'll be a footnote, don't flip. But I'll watch single videos, people in singles and technique, and I will just watch and watch. And it'll get ingrained in my brain, so if I can't get on the water, if I don't have the time to hit the erg room, I have time to look at great technique.
You can just stare at that all day, too.
Yeah.
Isn't that a funny thing? You can watch rowing right now. If I pulled up a video right now, you could watch it for an hour.
Oh yeah, and
We would talk
especially
about it.
you get trapped, you get lost in the internet where it's like this is recommended to you, and then half your day's gone.
Every day. I love the obsession that every rower has to the sport. I couldn't watch football for hours and hours and hours. I couldn't talk about it for hours and hours, but I can talk about rowing for hours and hours.
Well,
and you can too.
It's so complicated, and there's so many moving parts, and everyone has their own take and funny stories. So yeah, it's.
Well, this is where we transition to the serious stuff. Okay.
Good thing I'm wearing the coat.
I
so
know.
My sweat stains.
Yeah, no, they're not going to see it now, right? We are videoing this, which is really great. So we're going to have a fun moment with podcast and video. But I consider South Jersey rowing to have been at its peak from 1996 to 2007.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a 10-year gap where literally we're untouchable. You had Atlantic City High School in the 90s.
Right.
We're talking
They
world
were
class.
one crab away from national champions. My mom knows the kid's name, and I forget it because I was a young pup. Crabbed in the last 15 strokes. I don't think he ever recovered. I don't think he ever recovered.
He's not here anymore. No, but you also have Holy Spirit that went to Henley twice.
Won it twice.
Won it twice.
When I was a freshman in Holy Spirit, the senior boys went and made it a couple rounds, and the women won back-to-back. I'm sorry, but they definitely went back-to-back
We'll go back to the
years.
history books on this one.
Okay.
But you also have mainland. When I was there, we were
Big dogs.
big dogs. I mean,
Big dogs.
like obnoxiously big dogs. But then you also had St. Augustine Prep, smoking fast team. Okay, EHT for a period of time had some really fast forwards. Can you identify the year or when or why high school South Jersey rowing just blew up in a bad way?
You mean implode?
Implode.
Not
implode. The men's high school league, you will never, in my mind, you will not see a South Jersey high school team in the end.
You may, and we'll get to that in a second.
You're fixing your coat. You're ready for this. You're leading in.
Because I know what's coming, and I'm gonna ruffle some feathers here. One of the things is the emergence of lacrosse in the South Jersey area.
Okay.
And it was so quick. I went to college, came home from a summer, and kids are walking around with lacrosse sticks. I go, what happened?
I'm not dogging on lacrosse, but like
I'm dogging on lacrosse. I could dog all day on lacrosse. Come on. Anywho, so there's that, and I don't want to sound like old man Eberson,
No, go ahead.
like get off my lawn, old man. But I'm trying not to say this, but I think it's true. I think kids are different today.
Amen.
I know my dad probably said that, and his grandfather said that about
But our
their
generation.
Please. It's the great generation, right? Screw World War II.
No, we were in.
Whatever.
Right.
But I think kids are different today. And I have a friend, he's a professor in Philadelphia at a university, and I didn't even bring it up. And he said, God, these kids today, he goes, I tell them what's on the test, 30 questions, multiple choice, they can drop their worst two, like he's feeding them the stuff, and he's like, they're lazy.
Lazy.
Right? Now,
Lazy.
for the kids that are working hard and trying, I'm not talking about you, all right? I'm not talking about you're doing great. You do you. keep doing you. But I think
there was an abundance of people like that in the early 2000s.
I think it's like, hey kids, would you rather wake up early, row in the rain, and guess what? The training is harder than race day.
Yep.
You get to travel, you don't get cool equipment, or would you like to play a sport? It's fun. You get the swag equipment. Yeah, the swag is there, and it's like, no, I'm not doing that. And then I think also, I don't know what happened, but in the area, there was a change in culture.
Culture change.
There was a change in culture, and I want to say like winning waves, where it was, why am I training this? Why am I going to join this team that is not good?
I think the year was 2007 to 2010, like this 3-year gap where the emergence of lacrosse and then less kids in the program. I know there was a lot of high school rowing coaches that were leaving and going in that time. There's a big transition in coaching staff, specifically then, that shook things up. I mean, my best coach I ever had was Chris Kinnicky, ever. To this day, the best. He was my high school coach, and he changed the way I fundamentally handled my life. I mean, he made me a better person and made anybody else in that program a better person. I'm not dogging on the coaches today because I think they're challenged with the athletes and challenged with the environment. Rowing has gotten more expensive too in that period of time. I want to say that equipment has jumped up in price by 30 or 40% since then. So to buy a brand new 8 back then was like $26,000. It's 39, 40,000, right?
I remember
starting.
We had to raise $25,000 for a new boat, and now that's
you couldn't get that.
That's like
maybe
a 4.
Yeah. That the other thing too is in that period of time, and this drives me insane. The 8 is the 8 is the 8, right? You win in the 8, you compete in the 8.
It's the flagship.
Yeah. In 07, 2010, South Jersey rowing went from competing in the 8 to competing in the 4s. And now mainland has boats that, like I was in 04, 05.
Yeah.
They still have them there because they're relics. They don't use them anymore because they're rowing in 4s.
Yeah.
Do you see that at all in your coaching down there?
I see that a lot, and I think, it's getting pressure from the parents where you want to see results.
Results-driven parents.
No matter
exactly right.
what, no matter if it's a JV 4, a varsity 4, a lightweight 4, a double, whatever, but we're going to break up this 8 because I need medals. I'm going to put you in the best position to get a medal at whatever.
Now, okay, I agreed. I have to add this because he just popped in my head.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, Ian Tapp.
He's doing great work, by the way.
Okay, all right. We're going to talk about that because Ocean City High School women are fucking phenomenal.
We can curse?
We can curse.
Good, because I've been holding off. Okay.
Fucking phenomenal. He is doing something special there. So I'm not dogging on South Jersey rowing as a whole. I'm saying men's high school rowing down there is just dog shit slow. But he's got it figured out.
He's got it figured out, and he did it the right way, where he built it from the freshmen. He came in, and he had his freshmen, and he said, this is how we're doing things. And it was like, and I love coaching freshmen because that's like your mini varsity. So if you look ahead in the upperclassmen, or like if the culture isn't there, if the work ethic isn't there, if you're just looking at the group of kids and you're like, they don't have it, not physically, but the team culture is, I can't work with these kids. You have the freshmen to say, this is it. Because when you are a sophomore, junior, or a senior, you can mix people around. Freshman is the freshman. You're up against the best freshman from that crew and the best it's like mini varsity. So you can clean the slate, start over, implement a new culture, a new training program, a new belief, new blood, and he's done that.
He's done it.
And talk about long-term goals again. Here we are 3 years later, and he's just doing a great job, and the girls have bought in.
Do you know what he does too?
What's he do?
He texts, calls, and emails Chris Kinnicky and every other coach he's ever had in his world and says, can you just take 10 minutes and watch this video for me, please? Can you critique this? And then you don't see that anymore, by the way. You don't see a lot of young coaches having the balls to go up and say, "Can I get some help?" He could very well be one of the most successful South Jersey coaches if he continues this trend.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting a plug in for him. I mean, he's very close to me, but
he's close to me too. We've coached him in, and him and I
right.
both
You
coached
did
me.
right back in the early 2000s.
And let me say this too, to bring him back down from orbit, so Ian Tapp's head doesn't blow off. He's grown in his own life and in his coaching life. When I coached with him at Mainland, he wasn't good. He wasn't good. And again, I think that's like he got a group of kids that were grab-assing, and he was like,
That's
hey,
right.
if you're grab-assing, I'm not going to give you the full tap.
Now they're getting the full tap.
They're getting the full tap.
He's
Two-piece.
obsessed.
Two-piece. Double tap. They're getting
They're
a
getting
double
a double tap. Oh, you know what? I want to coin that. We're going to use that.
Patent pending.
Patent pending double tap.
Double tap.
Yes.
He's come a long way, and like parallels rowing to business world, don't be afraid to ask for help. My biggest fear in my professional life is, what am I not doing?
Ooh.
You know, I'm doing great. Last year I had the best year ever for me, and like one of the best years ever for the company.
It's huge. That's
and
huge.
I'm like, what am I not doing? What do I know that I don't know?
Do you think you learned that in rowing, or is that just something you were born with, something natural that came to you?
It's both. But rowing, you're constantly evolving. So I'm gonna blow your mind here. So
Give it to me.
okay, let's say a 2K on the water's 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And people say 6 minutes. Our time has to be this. Our time has to be. Okay. View it this way: you have 250 strokes. Break it down to strokes, not time.
I like that.
You only have X amount of strokes, and then the race is over.
And that goes quick.
And it goes real quick. So you take a bad stroke, damn it, I lost one. I got to get it back on the next one. Don't settle in and say, all right, 1 minute down, let's settle in here. No, I have this amount, and then the race is over. So you can draw parallels to business, where look at it like
You find
micro.
micro. You have a certain amount of time to achieve what you need to achieve.
Right.
Instead of, I understand. That's.
And I've always been
valuable.
fascinated with the mind and the mental approach to the sport. And a real cool story, and I've shared this with companies, I've shared this with rowers, is I was in the gym, I was coming back off of the triathlons, and I was getting back into the gym. I was gaining my strength back. And this isn't going to impress anyone, but I was trying to get to 315 on the deadlift.
That's
right?
a lot. That's
It's not. It's not. Don't
Let me
patronize me.
inflate you.
Don't. Not here. So I was trying to get to 315. Throw the 245s on, so that's 225.
Yep.
All day. No problem. Throw another 25 on, 275. No problem. Throw the 3 manhole covers on, 315. Welded to the floor. I could not lift it. I could not lift it at all. Damn. So a whole month, I'm working on it. I'm talking 285. I could do reps for 3. Throw the 3 on there. Welded to the floor. I could not lift it up. And I would get the rock music on. I would do what was it? Coleman. Who's the weightlifter? Lightweight.
Oh, Ronnie Coleman.
Ronnie Coleman. Lightweight. I'm getting pumped up. Welded. Could not get an inch on the floor. One day I go in, 2 45s on each side, 25. I got lazy. I said, F it. I threw another 25 on. Boom, boom. 2 reps.
You just went over 315.
I added it up. I was at 325.
Wow.
The way my mind pigeonholed me
To the 45s.
to the 45s. When I saw that, nope, we're not doing it. And
Wow.
then I just switched up the way I thought about something.
I like that.
And just the way it looked, whatever, did it twice, no problem. And that was a huge light bulb for me.
I hope that's a lesson that people can understand and comprehend. It's a visual.
It is, and it's just your mind and your body is looking out for your self-interest, especially the body. The body's only purpose is self-preservation.
Spot on.
So when it's hurting, the body's saying, "Hey, this hurts. You got to stop now," right? You have to hardwire the body to say, "Listen, we're in control. We're good." And when the body's like, break glass, pull the lever, I'm done. You have 40% more to give after that.
Wasn't it who was the guy that broke the 4-minute mile?
That is Sir Roger Bannister, if I'm not familiar.
I think you might be right.
I know I'm right. So Roger Bannister, they could not break the 4-minute mile. Could not do it. He breaks it. The next month, 4 other guys break it.
That's it.
One guy needed to do it, and he got like 459 points or 359.6.
Regardless.
Now, hey, he did it. Now I can do it.
How do you think? I'm going to take your concept of, all right, think of the rowing stroke as strokes.
Little plug for Spanish.
Plug it in. Do you think that rowing can get faster? 5:18 or 5:14 is the record. Like, do you think that it can get faster?
I don't know on the water. I don't know
physical.
Physically. I don't know how much faster the human body can go. When we were growing up, if you broke 6 minutes, dude, you're in
the Olympics.
You're in part of a fraternity.
Yeah.
Now it's 5:50.
Yeah.
Now it's 5:40.
Yeah.
It's like you have these 6'6" guys averaging 40 strokes per minute, 38 strokes per minute. And it's like not only the 2K.
Their tanks are bigger, right? Their physical tanks are bigger.
Not only the 2K, but the 6K.
Oh, it's obnoxious.
The Dutch boy, he's pulling like 131.
Yeah.
I'm like, huh?
I don't even know how long I could do that for. Not possible. I mean, I couldn't. My best ever was a 6:08. Ever.
That's booking. That's booking. Because again, when we were growing up, if you broke 6 minutes, but now I don't know. I don't know how much. Can someone break 5:30? I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
It's just I think your lesson is more of not speed, but just how you view yourself in your future. It's not necessarily saying take the idea of 250 strokes and make it faster.
Yeah.
It's just change the way your mind is. I want to get back though to South Jersey rowing.
Yeah.
Something monumental, I believe, happened in South Jersey rowing a couple of months ago, and that was John Bancheri getting the job at Stockton College. What do you think that's going to do for South Jersey rowing?
So let's take it back just a little bit. They got a new AD before they brought in Bancheri.
Okay.
And he was the AD at Bates.
Sure.
Who, for I guess the last couple of years, the women won NCAA Division III.
That's right.
So this AD comes on and knows the strength of rowing, what it can do for the university, pulling power.
So I didn't know that.
You learn something new every day.
Lesson learned.
So he came in and he's like, listen, crew rowing is very important to the university.
Yeah.
So when you have an AD that backs your program, that's huge. And Stockton was non-existent.
In one day, he got 3 brand new boats that appeared in the boathouse.
I was at the whatever it was, the mixer, the
Garmin mixer. Was it the Garmin?
Stan Bergman.
Oh, the Stan Bergman.
The Stan Bergman one, and it was like Oprah. You get a boat. You get a boat. You get a boat, and I'm like, oh my god. And seriously, Bancheri was there, and he said, "These are great. Can we get a new trailer now? Because I got these boats." So, Bancheri brings the knowledge.
Yeah.
He brings the passion. He brings the coaching experience, because there's water technique, there's the spread and all that, but you need to know how to coach. You need to know how to manage expectations. You need to know how to manage personalities.
Yeah.
And he gets that.
Well, he brings life experience.
He brings right.
So I'm telling you right now, he's more about how you're going to live your life than racing a boat. I'll tell you that right now. He was my coach for a year.
Yeah.
The fundamentals of life is something that he really holds on to and teaches and educates people on.
So he brings all of that to the table. You have an AD that I'm in your corner. I want to see this blow up. And then you have the community. that is building up Stockton. So Viking Rowing Club, right down the street from Stockton Boathouse. The Masters, we go to King's Head in Philadelphia. King's Head Regatta. It's a great race. That was the same race as the same day as the first ever AC Stakes race. Stockton
that he put together,
And we said, we're going to bag King's Head. We got to support Stockton.
Wow.
You know, and it wasn't like, hey, what do you want? It's like, no, we got to support.
You're making that decision.
We got to support the local thing. And it was a great event. It was ran perfectly. I emailed Coach John afterwards, said, congratulations, the turnout was amazing.
Wow.
Little constructive criticism, maybe buoy that straight line, or the straightaway, because I almost got head-on collision twice.
Wow. For year one, give him some.
Year one. I built him up, constructive criticism, then built him up again at the bottom. But, I mean, they have the equipment, they have the coach, they have the AD, they have the community behind them. Stockton, everyone, especially in the D3, watch out. They're coming.
But you brought something up, and it was a community thing. So Stockton, I think, will be a national contending crew 2 or 3 years from now.
They won a medal at Dadville.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're going to be a team that brings. He's going to get some Olympians. He's going to send some kids to the Olympics. He's going to get some teams to win at a very, very high level. But as you said, it's a community thing. I'm more interested in what is it going to do for South Jersey rowing? Is it going to bring relevance again? Is it going to bring the idea that it's going to grow again?
So here's what I'm.
Get some rowers in the back of the way.
Oh,
that's Whitman right there.
There it is.
It's high school Whitman. And 2 wrestlers, by the way.
They look sweet.
They do look clean, don't they?
They do look clean.
Yeah. I
So
think the camera's going to pick that up.
South Jersey rowing, okay. Same thing, kind of like what U.S. rowing was doing, where for a while, though, we were kind of hanging on for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when did we win gold? Was that 2000?
2004.
2004. I'm not knocking USA. I'm not knocking the Olympic gold medal V8.
Yeah.
But they'll tell you it was the piece of a lifetime where no one touch anything, just keep going.
Yeah.
And it was like the coxswain's like, I don't know what to say. Like everything was great. And it was a whipping tailwind.
Yeah.
And they won. They set a world record. That was great. And then, oh my God, my history. The last Olympics, I think we got 4th.
Yeah, we didn't medal.
That was a hell of a race for 4th. If you remember, we had to go to the 3rd World Cup.
That's right.
To qualify.
Yeah.
So we're like, if you look at the results, hey, they won in 2004. They just missed the podium. We were hanging on. So I think USA Rowing was like, we got to start at the ground level. We have to start at the club and the high school level. We have to make level 2 coaching certification a hell of a lot harder.
Volpenheim did Volpenheim, who's now at Penn, spent time, again, world record holder.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or not anymore. He's the Germans now have the record, but he was training juniors in San Diego. So you're right. Like there is this ground up.
They gotta start. They're like, we gotta start over. We gotta make it harder. We gotta make our priorities more challenging. Like when we were growing up, it was Stotesbury was the championship.
That was it.
Maybe SRA Nationals, right?
Which we cared less about that and more about Stotesbury.
Stotesbury's our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's our backyard, so that's it. It was always, I always told people, Stotesbury's the Super Bowl, Nationals was the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you get to travel. Hey, we're in Orlando. You know, whatever.
Come get it.
It's like, oh, we made finals. I just want to hang by the pool. But now it's like youth nationals.
Is it? Yeah,
Is it now?
Yeah.
And you know, if I'm jumping sport to sport here, but USA Soccer. You know, you have these lifers that are like, the system is broken. Like, just because you have the stars and bars on your chest, like, doesn't mean we're relevant, right? And so
really
coming back to
observation.
South Jersey,
Yeah.
We need a good hard look in the mirror. We need to see, you know, what are we doing? And I think ultimately what it's going to culminate to, and there's been talk about this is just consolidating the high school programs
Ooh.
and making a South Jersey rowing club, because we experimented with it this year, and I'm talking light. Like, we had 2 high schools come together, and we scrapped them together for the fall. And I think head of the Schuylkill, they had a real good showing. I think like top 10 or something like
I didn't
that.
know that.
Yeah, because they rode together. It was a great experience for everyone. And then they go to their high schools. So you have mainland maybe has 2 or 3 kids. Holy Spirit, 2-3 kids. EHT.
We talked
Ocean
about
City.
that in 04. We wanted an all-star boat that would go to Henley, and we knew that we would freaking win.
So you have all these kids spread out, and they're doing okay. But if you brought them together, like you have these club programs out there, if you have them together, because, okay, again, let's be brutally honest, in an 8 today, you'll have 2 kids that are going to have a real good chance of going like D1 rowing in college. You have another 2 kids.
Sub 620, sub 715 for.
You have another 2 kids that are just so passionate about the sport. Maybe they'll row somewhere in college, but they, God bless them, they show up, they work hard, they want it. Then you have 4 kids where mommy and daddy's forcing them to do it.
That's right. That's every high school in the country.
So if you have 8 kids, 9 including the coxswain, that are great athletes, great rowers, great racers, and they're passionate, they're ready to go, you'll see South Jersey come out.
South Jersey had an abundance of that from team to team from, again, 96 to 07. And then it's gone away.
It was this competitive environment.
We hated you. We hated
Oh,
teams. Hated.
mainland hated Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit dated the mainland girls. Mainland boys dated the Holy Spirit girls. And we're out of the same house.
Yeah.
And it was just,
One time, one of the mainland kids threw a dead shark in the Holy Spirit boat bay on a Saturday. And they went in on Monday, and they're like, this is the worst smell.
just rank.
But the funny thing is, it was the next bay over, so we had to fucking deal with the damn smell.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
I'm bringing you down with me.
That was it. But you don't see that. I don't see that. I even asked Ian. He doesn't have that kind of animosity and competitiveness in that environment. But I like what you're saying about the starting from the ground up. I think you're right. There needs to be a shake. Now, to the listeners who are not familiar with South Jersey rowing, this is not Philadelphia rowing.
No.
There's a huge 40 miles away.
Light years
away. But where people, okay, so in rowing you got pockets. There's a difference between, they say Southeast rowing, that lumps 5 states.
Yeah.
Midwest lumps 25 states.
Yeah.
Right?
And then there's West Coast.
And there's West Coast.
It's like South Jersey. If you're looking at the simulcast, there's like South Jersey, Philly, Midwest, and then the West, and then there's Florida.
That's exactly right. So South Jersey is specific to like 3 zip codes.
Yeah.
Right? And a 25-mile radius dead center of like Northfield. Like take Northfield and draw 25, 30 miles like this, and that's your South Jersey.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference, right? I just want people to know that we're not talking about Philadelphia rowing, because St. Joe's Prep they're going to probably win Stokesbury this year. Like they probably are. I'm going to tell you right. Mount St. Joe on the women's side, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right? They win almost every single year.
Yeah.
So this is the end of the podcast and the video. You now have a chance to ask me 1 or 2 questions before we sign off here, if you want.
Man. Okay. First off, light question: how's your training going? I see the workout Wednesdays. By the way, the one you posted, what was it? It was something really hard. Impossible. I didn't even finish it. And I commented back to you or CJ or someone, I go, God, I didn't finish it. Like I got 1 piece done. And then we put it down wrong. It was something like hold your 2K but at like a 20 strokes per minute.
No. It was like 2K plus 6 at a 20. And I said, CJ,
something.
That is dumb. That is dumb.
I did it once.
Yeah.
I can't do it again. But okay, so enough about me. How's your training going?
I've focused more on weight training than anything else, and it's something that I can do in odd hours. I travel 200 days a year.
You're coming in hot from down under.
Yeah, exactly. So So going on no sleep, I operate on a schedule that's 40 to 50 minute bursts in workouts whenever I can get them. I run a ton, I lift a lot, and knock on wood, if it works out, I'm going to be racing at Henley this year in England.
And for where? With who?
In a we're going to do either a composite boat or for a team in England, and I'm using the Resolute. So we're showcasing the Resolute at Henley, and I'm hopefully going to be in that boat. So we're working it out, working the details out.
Yeah.
Nothing's set in stone yet, but that's there's so many things, right? I'm dead focused and set on this company. I do 100-hour work weeks, and anybody in the company will tell you I do 100-hour work weeks. Outside of my children, I have very little time to commit to doing the hour and a half row in the water. So I get it whenever I can get it. And I'll do these things, I call them thousands. I'll do it 1 to 3 days a week. Push-ups, sit-ups, squats, jumpies, and any kind of additional core work. You do them and you add up to 1,000, and it's about 18 minutes total, and it is an amazing workout.
Yeah.
And I recommend that to anybody who doesn't have a lot of time.
Well, you gotta be. Crew is a time sponge.
It is.
You know, you spent 4 hours at the boathouse. 2 hours of it was setting up and breaking down and launches and da-da-da. Okay, we were on the water for an hour and a half. Okay, we actually did 45 minutes of actual work out of that 4 hours. So it does teach you, again with crew, time management.
Oh, it's huge.
And people that say, like, I don't have time, you do.
Yeah.
You do. You gotta wake up at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
You know,
but a routine. Like do it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
But it's momentum. It's crazy. It's like you feel sluggish, so you don't work out. But when you do work out, you get more energy.
And it snowballs into your job, your family life, everything. You know, and when you're feeling good. So you get one more question. Do you have any? I mean, can you think of anything to ask me?
Oh,
I'm putting you on the spot. I get it.
I mean, I wasn't prepared to ask.
I mean, you're the guy that's quick and snappy. You know.
Yeah. Oh, how about this? My cruising with Zach. You already went through. You already went through the lightning round.
Yeah.
You can go back in time and tell something when you were 16. But here's a question: do you have any regrets during your rowing career?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I hated rowing sophomore year.
Of what?
Of college.
Of college.
My only regret was letting that get the best of me that spring and summer. I wish that I was a little more cognizant of my surroundings and appreciative of what I had. Sophomore year, I was in DC, so like I was brand new to DC. I dated a girl, her name's Dana Parnell. I haven't seen her.
Drop the last name.
Yeah, I had to. I mean, for the podcast, I had to. Yeah, hi.
Hi, Dana.
We dated, but I traveled to see her every weekend. So I didn't have any friends in DC except for the couple buddies that I had growing up. So then right around April and May, so this is like heavy season, I didn't make the varsity 8, and then I hated rowing.
Yeah.
And I let losing get the better of me. And I for 5 years straight, I was top dog. I mean, I was always in the top boat. I'd come off of a Dadville medal. I was at SRA medals and all these things. And then I lost for the first time, and I wasn't in the top boat, and I let that get the better of me. And I regret that because it took me 2 years to get over that sensation, that feeling. And I know Greg Meyer, my coach then, he even said it to me. He wrote me off that year, and my friends wrote me off. And it's when you bring that energy to a team or to your surroundings, everyone can sense it and feel it.
Yeah.
And I regret that moment in my life.
I don't know if it's the brisk wind coming off the Potomac or what you just said, but I got chills.
You got chills.
Because sophomore year of college for me.
Was that the hard one?
And that was the tough one. And maybe everyone out there, watch out for the sophomore slump.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing, the sophomore slump. So I was, at Rhode Island at least, I was like the big freshman.
Yeah, of course you were.
I like eked my way back door into the varsity 8.
Wow.
Maybe I should have been there, I don't know. But by medal races, I was in the varsity 8. And then next year, this other freshman came, and I was faster than him on the erg. But the team was like, make sure if we're doing first and last name, Eli Roth, not the horror movie.
You don't forget those people, right?
No, I don't think about him at all. But they kind of like surrounded him and make sure he's good and stuff like that. And he was like uber competitive with me.
Ooh.
Like as I'm finishing a piece, I can sense him hanging over and looking at my monitor.
Ooh,
and every piece he would sit next to me, and good for him. You're right. Good for him. But it would get to the point, and like passive aggressive Zach, we'd be doing a piece, and I see he's looking at mine. How about this for competitive? I'd flip my screen. I don't know what I'm pulling, but I'm like, you want to go to Crazy Town? Let's go to Crazy Town. Right?
Wow, I love that.
And then it blew up at a party over Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero was really big then.
It was huge. It was the only thing I had. And it blew up there, and the team kind of took a side and said, Zach, you're being out of control.
Wow.
They didn't say this, but they went with him. And all my friends and everything I put in the year prior. So same thing with you. I was like, really? Cool. I'm going to be a lone wolf here. I'd show up to practice. I'd do my work, got my stuff, got out.
It was the worst year of your career.
I was like, yeah, you want to play that game? Let's play that game.
Isn't that terrible how ego and resentment builds up like that?
Yes.
How it affects your life?
But we rebounded.
You rebound.
Junior and senior year, and you look back. But also, maybe to our credit, we were at our peak alpha-ness.
Oh.
We were just screaming. We were just muscle heads.
Oh, yeah.
So
you can run literally through a wall.
Yeah, you could do anything. So maybe we didn't have our head screwed on tight.
We didn't.
But honestly, watch out for the sophomore slump. And if someone corrects you, don't write them off.
That's a big lesson.
Try and don't be, what am I trying to say? Don't be defensive, and try and look at it with an open mind, because they are trying to help you out.
What a way to end this podcast. Now, I had fun, Zach. I had fun with this. Now, I think that when someone takes the time to listen to this, there's a couple of nuggets here that are really exciting. But I'm going to take this podcast and I'm going to push on the South Jersey thing. I am going to make people talk about South Jersey rowing again.
My boat might be destroyed by when I get home. It'll be spray painted scab.
I hope so. Now, thanks for listening to the Rower's Choice podcast. More next week is discussions with coaches, focusing on getting on the water. So we're just a few short weeks away. So you're going to learn a little bit about how to get back on the water and what to look for. Thanks for listening. Killer.